Veronica Sereno. I will be your Masters of Ceremony for today's event. The Development Academy of the Philippines, envisioned as a world-class national development and productivity organization, remains steadfast in generating pioneering, value-adding, and synergistic solutions through various programs, projects, and activities, both in national and international levels. A major part of realizing such vision is the conduct of a series of sessions and lectures dubbed as Kartilya, where government agencies, the academe, and other sectors are gathered to discuss relevant issues and concerns affecting national development and productivity. Kartilya is the Academy's avenue for roundtable discussions and fora for certain major realities affecting the Philippines and the world. The Center of Excellence on Public Sector Productivity is hosting 11 sessions composing the 2018 Productivity Series. Today's Kartilya session is the 8th of the series with the theme Productivity and Quality Tools in the Public Sector, 5S. So as of this morning, our guests come from the national government agencies, the academy, and local government units. So I'm going to mention the name of our participants today. Please stand up as I recognize your organization. So we have our participants from House of Representatives, Department of Budget and Management, Department of Transportation, Climate Change Commission, National Archives of the Philippines, National Book Development Board, Polytechnic University of the Philippines, University of the Philippines Los Baños, University of Makati, City Government of May Kawayan, Bulacan, Provincial Government of Tarlac, Authority of the Area Freeport of Bataan, and then we have East Avenue Medical Center. All right, so again, let us give a round of applause for everyone present here. Oh, okay, so we have Sugar Regulatory Administration. All right, one more round of applause for everyone present here. All right, to welcome us all in this event and to give us her personal reflection on our theme for today, the Program Manager of the Center of Excellence for Public Sector Productivity Program and Director of the AO25 Secretariat of the Development Academy of the Philippines, Ms. Maria Rosario A. Ablan, will deliver her message.
Okay, good morning. Morning. Thank you for coming for our Kartilya session. Okay. To our resource persons, Director Theresa A. Agustin and Mr. Homer Alcon of the Productivity and Development Center of the Development Academy of the Philippines, Mr. Abdulhamid Alawi Jr. from the Office of the Regional Governor of the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, our guests from national government agencies, the House of Representatives, local government units, the academe, and our colleagues from the Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to today's Kartilya session entitled Quality and Productivity Tools in the Public Sector 5S. We are grateful of your presence here to recognize and appreciate the great role of 5S and its application in improving the productivity of the public sector. A world-leading expert on manufacturing processes and the Toyota production system, Mr. Shigeo Shingo said that the most dangerous kind of waste is the waste we don't recognize. In this Kartilya session, we aim for three things. First, we would like to look forward to hearing and learning how to reduce waste through the concept of 5S. Second, we have a glimpse of a successful case in the application in the public sector. And third is to learn how we can apply and adapt 5S in our own organization. As we go on with the lecture and discussions, let us keep in mind the big question, how can I apply 5S in transforming the productivity of our office? Paano po ba? Maglilinis na ba ako? Mag-aayos na ba ako? I hope that you will find this session enriching as we participate in the Kartilya discourse, and more especially that it will motivate you to check your own productivity and quality tools, and the adoption of the concepts to be discussed as a driver of innovation in your respective office. We welcome you all to a morning of interesting discussion at the Development Academy of the Philippines. Have a big productive day ahead, and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ablan. All right, so the statement, there's this statement in the message that's quite striking. The most dangerous kind of waste is the waste we don't recognize. So it compels us to ask questions. What kind of waste are we talking about here? Are we talking about the physical wastes? No. So can we even recognize these wastes as we are being hit by these on our faces, right? So what are the ways to recognize these wastes? What are your roles as managers in addressing these wastes? So I hope that in the topics that are going to be discussed ahead, we would consider these questions in contemplating how can we contribute to the addressing waste or addressing using 5S after we attend this event. So as we go ahead with this discussion, let me introduce our first speaker, Mr. Homer H. Alcon. Our first speaker for today finished his bachelor's degree in industrial engineering and master's in business administration from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. He also finished his basic management program at the Asian Institute of Management. Before being part of the academy, Mr. Alcon has held several project engineering and supervisory roles from multiple corporations, such as RC Silverio Management Corporation, Refrigeration Industries Incorporated, TMX Philippines Incorporated, SC Johnson & Son Incorporated, and Philips Semiconductors Philippines Incorporated, as well as teaching roles as professor at the Colegio de San Juan de Letran, Calamba, where he taught industrial engineering, and professor at the Far Eastern University, where he taught general chemistry and physics. Sir Homer has been a part of DAP since 2005. Currently, he is a project officer, resource speaker, and technical staff at the Productivity and Development Center, specializing in projects related to quality management system development, food safety promotion, FSMS, ISO 22000 training, lean manufacturing, production management, quality circles, green productivity, 5S, and among other things. So our first speaker has numerous patents and publications under his belt. His publications that are related to productivity and quality management, and he even has an inclination for music. So here today to talk about the concept of 5S, let us all welcome, please, Mr. Homer H. Alcon.
Thank you very much. I'm privileged to be here this morning, and I'm very glad to see that most of you are so eager to learn something. Okay, they say that the most difficult things are the simple, like courage, okay, loyalty. Those are very difficult things. Even the 10 Commandments, they are so hard. Now, this morning, I'm going to talk to you a topic which I believed when I first saw it. I thought that this will change the world. I wanted to change the world. Okay, way back in 1992, no. And I went to the AP. I still believe that 5S is going to change the world. But you have to start first in our own backyard, in our own office. Okay? According to 5S, there are three types of workplaces. A third-class workplace is a place where people make a mess and nobody cleans up. Can you imagine how that looks like? A second-class workplace is better because people make a mess while another group cleans up. So the second-class workplace, it's good. Okay, it's good because you hire somebody to clean. No? This is like hiring somebody to check your output before it goes out. No? There's what you call quality assurance. Okay, that's a second-class workplace. However, if you notice, you're hiring another group of people to clean, and that's quite expensive. Okay. Now, the first-class workplace is a place where people don't make a mess, and yet everybody cleans up. Okay? In other words, there is already process control, and as much as there is quality assurance in the point of view of quality. Okay? People don't make a mess, yet everybody cleans up. And what's very nice about the first class, the quality assurance and quality process control are all delegated to the people in the workplace. Okay, and that is the theory, and that's just what we want to promote in 5S. If you do 5S, we create a first-class workplace for our facility. Okay. Now, what are the common workplace problems that we have normally? Okay. Here, okay, is a place where there's much paper. No? Inconsistent cleanliness and orderliness, or there's much clutter, a cluttered work area. Okay. Do you find that in your office today, or is it that your office? Another problem is retrieving files. No proper labeling of files. Okay, when there's no labeling, it takes time to look for files. It's very difficult actually to get ISO certified if you can't find your files. And another problem is inadequate space. Okay, I've been to several government offices, and they all complain that there is inadequate space. Okay, maybe I don't know what the reason is, but they're always actually, even if you go to industrial locations, non-government offices, they also complain of the same problem. Now, I have good news. After actually doing 5S several times already, I've witnessed miracles. Okay, after applying 5S, the space problem actually disappears. Okay, ayan. So today we're going to tell you, we're going to show you a miracle, maybe somewhere in ARMM, and you can actually make your own miracles in your area. Okay. And another common problem is things are not put in proper place or storage area. When we talk about 5S, we actually talk about a quality workplace. Okay? So a quality workplace is a place where it supports our service quality, it supports our product quality. Okay? We have a disciplined workforce, elimination of loss and waste, improvement of working conditions, total participation, and we produce total customer satisfaction, or TCS. Okay, please take note. What's important in 5S is the participation of everybody. Okay, as mentioned earlier by CHO, the waste which we do not see. I'll tell you something about it. In hotels, they usually never assign. They usually rotate the people, the guest area cleaners. they usually rotate them because after a while, they say they get blind to the dirt. Okay? They get blind to the dirt. So if you get assigned the same person in the same spot, they do not see the dirt. They don't see the mess. Okay? So yung mess natin, usually ibang tao na nakita, not us. Okay? Now, I will introduce you now to the 5S concepts and principles. Okay? So what is 5S? Okay? Yan, you see his name again, Mr. Seiichi Toyoda and Shichiro Teiichi Ono. They developed the 5S methodology, or what they call the Toyota production system, after World War II. They never called it 5S in Toyota. No, they just called it Toyota production system. There was another guy, Japanese, no, si Mr. Hirokuyo Hirano. He wrote a book, and he called that Toyota technique the 5 pillars of the visual workplace. Okay, now we call it 5S. Okay, if you go in some cities like Baguio, if you have been to Baguio, there's a big, there's a tarpaulin, no? This city is 5S. You go to Singapore, there's something similar. Okay, you can apply it to government and not just to factories. And 5S is a systematic approach to organize work areas, keep rules and standards, maintain discipline. Okay? And 5S practices develop a positive attitude among workers, and it cultivates an environment of efficiency, effectiveness, and economy. You've heard the feeling beautiful, no? Actually, if you feel beautiful, you actually become beautiful, no? Sa 5S, kanyan din, no? When you feel organized, maybe you'll be organized. And 5S utilizes workplace organization and work simplification techniques. Okay, so this is 5S. It's a systematic approach. Okay, and this is it, no? This is 5S in all its glory. Number 1. Okay, now let me warn you, no? The black translation is a loose translation. Okay? Seiri is sort, suriin, seiton, systematize, and or sinupin. Seiso, sweep, simutin. Seiketsu is standardize, siguruhin ng kalinisan. And the 5th S is shitsuke, silent U. Shitsuke. Self-discipline and sariling pusa. Okay? Let me warn you again, the black is just a loose translation. We should look at what the 5 Japanese word means. Okay? It's very close to the loose translation, but let's try to look at the meaning closer. Okay? Now, seiri means take out unnecessary items and dispose. Okay? So, yung sort or suriin, it doesn't mean that, di ba? It's a guide word, but it means that you take out unnecessary items and dispose. Now, yung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have to implement it in order, no? And I'll tell you why, no? The second is seiton. Arrange necessary items in good order. So if you take note of the definition, you arrange only the necessary items in good order. So you have to do seiri first. Otherwise, you'll be arranging the non-essential or not necessary items. Okay? The third S is say so. Clean your workplace. Clean your workplace. Okay? So if you clean first, what will happen is you'll be cleaning the unnecessary items. No? So you have to do one first. No? And the fourth S is seiketsu, maintain high standard of housekeeping. See? We call it, a loose translation is standardized. Most Japanese say that in seiketsu, you look at the root cause of the dirt and you eliminate the root cause. And if you eliminate the root cause, the dirt will not come back. It will actually go away. And last is shitsuke. do things spontaneously without being told or ordered. You know what the direct translation of Shitsuke is? It means, ito body beautiful. Okay, how do you get a body beautiful? How do you get it? By going to the gym, by exercising, right? No? So that's why they call it body beautiful. You have to exert personal effort to go to the gym, right? To maintain your body beautiful. And they say, no, it's very expensive. It's very expensive to go to the hairdresser every day, di ba? Okay? There's a beauty parlor in BGC they call the Block. Okay? Paggawa ka ng haircut doon, it's manicure, no? Nagpa-manicure yung wife ko, 1,200, no? And then magpagupit ka, 7,000. Oh my gosh. Very expensive. Kaya yung mura lang na araw-araw, no? Ayan, no? If we do it, yung Shitsuke will have a beautiful and organized workplace. Okay? So, Shitsuke talks about a culture of cleanliness, a culture of organization, a culture of tidying up. Okay? Now, first is Seiri. Okay? Sort, remove unnecessary items and dispose of them properly. Okay? You don't just throw away. You make work easy by eliminating obstacles. Okay? Obstacles to movement, obstacles to sight. Okay? Now, they say in a workplace, there's one object which people should not see, no? One object, no? You should eliminate all obstacles except one. And this is the clock. Okay? People work better though without seeing, when they don't see the clock. Okay? So basketball, ganyan din ha. The players will perform better if they don't see the clock. Na-notice mo yan? Okay? Okay, sabi ni Tim Connet, don't look at the clock. Play properly. Okay? So, make work easy by eliminating obstacles to movement, no? Obstacles to sight. And provide no chance of being disturbed with unnecessary items. If you get disturbed, no, by unnecessary items, eliminate the need to take care of unnecessary items, because when the unnecessary item is there, you have to remove it before you can work. Okay? Prevent accumulation of unnecessary items. Okay, that's sort. Okay? Now, this may be simple, no? But if a worker or your staff does it 8 hours a day, moving things aside each time, it is a big problem. Later, I'll show you how much time it consumes. There have been studies already conducted. How much time does putting things aside consume? Okay? Later, I'll show you. Now, sorting, no, in itself means that you will do something about the unnecessary and necessary items. So you should have a system, of course, for doing things to them, no? It's called stratification management. The things needed, you look at what's used constantly, occasionally, and seldom used. And then things not needed, you separate the potential, no potential use, potentially useful or valuable, and requiring special disposal. Okay? You take care of them properly, no? Like for example, yung constantly, it must be near. The things used occasionally, a little far. Seldom used, maybe a little farther. Okay? And then take note of the last bullet. When it is requiring special disposal, you have to dispose of it properly. Okay? If some items need to be given according to the rules of the NAP, sa may taga-NAP rito, may rules sila on how to get rid of things, okay, how to archive, and sometimes it's there's a special way to dispose of our waste. Okay, and if you have done your theory properly, one of the success indicators is the area saved or percentage of space available. Okay, percentage of space available. No? And you create miracles. Getting rid of unnecessary items. Now, the second is So you ask yourself, why is our office getting cluttered? Okay. Now this is a sorting procedure, no? Before I go to the second is, we have what we call a tagging, tagging activity. Now you can do Seri on your own, ano? But what we recommend is to make it a group activity. Okay? A group activity, that means you will have criteria, a group criteria, what is to define what is necessary and what is not necessary. Okay? So we have procedure. You make criteria, you tag items, red, yellow, designate a suitable storage area for the non-necessary items, and establish follow a disposal plan and procedure. Now, the disposal may be difficult, ano? That's why you need a suitable storage area. Now, a suitable storage area is a place where you can store materials that they do not get destroyed. For example, if you have an old typewriter, no, which you will donate to a museum, okay? You don't put it out in the sun, no? It will get destroyed, no? When the museum looks at it, they will not accept it, no? So you put it in a place na it will not be destroyed. The documents, likewise, the excess documents, you put in a place where it will not be under the elements. Okay, and follow a disposal plan. Okay. Sa disposal, I would even recommend that it should become a management agenda ng management man committee, dapat nandun. Okay, it will not get disposed without management approval normally, no? In some areas I've seen, they have a storage area and the items stay there for almost 3 to 5 years, no? Because it is not in the management agenda, no? Once it's put in the agenda, the decision to dispose of it becomes easy, no? Because they'll be the ones to decide how to get rid of these items. So remember that, It has to be in the management agenda. Okay? So what is not needed, what is needed, and contingency items. Contingency items are critical. The quantity of contingency items to be retained and criteria for such items. There's some contingency items just in case, no? People tend to be blind to failings in their own area, and a fresh pair of eyes can be useful involving cross-functional teams or getting people to look at each other's areas. It will be more effective. The dirt and clutter blindness, no? That principle, remember that? Okay. It always happens. Okay. So what you do is you get some other people to look at your area, no? Just to help you, no? Not to audit you, to help you identify the clutter. I pressed the wrong button. Okay. Now, here are some guidelines to identifying what is unnecessary. The first in our list is work in process or work in progress. Okay. Now, who of you has a lot of paper to be signed on your desk? Walang sumasagot, Anyway, because you attended the seminar today, a lot of things will be piled on your desk already. Okay. In some agencies, we notice this, di ba may throughput time for approval of some things, when you track it, things get piled up on the manager's table, evaluator's table. So dyan, each takes about a half day on each table before it comes out. Okay? Alam mo, if you just reduce yung amount of paper on their desk, let's say they move it, instead of twice a day, they move 4 times a day, you reduce the throughput time, for the approval of licenses, etc. Mabilis lang, There's a lot of waste here, Actually, according to Toyota production system, the work in process, if it's big, it is a reflection of a lot of wastes. There are 2 things to watch out in our throughput time, First is inventory or work in progress, and second is a throughput time, okay? they are indicators of our waste. Okay? So if your throughput time is long, that means you have a lot of waste. And if you have a no inventory or work in progress, you have what we call a one-piece flow. One-piece flow. If you have a one-piece flow, your response time will be very fast, and our customers, our clients will be very happy. Okay? So if you look at this list, so there are many things here which are maybe in your work area. Okay? Another item is equipment, furniture, supplies, and records. Old records, accumulated scrap paper, equipment, furniture not required for the operation being performed but are still being kept. Okay, yeah. Now, hindi lang sa office ganyan, di ba? Sa, even in our houses, in our homes, we have the same problem, no? It has what you call, sentimental value, no? Sabi ni, if you're the Marie Kondo is a tidying expert. She says that in your house, no? You take a picture of the item and throw it away, no? Say thank you, and then throw it away. Now, number 3 is contingency items. Okay, last refuge for old files, documents, broken items, plus items and things nobody likes to use, no? Shelves and lockers that tend to collect things that nobody ever likes, uses, surplus, broken items, no? In your locker or in your wallet, no? Maraming items dyan, mga resibo, meal sheet, meal ticket, ATM receipts, di ba? Hindi pile up, no? Passages and corners, dust, material, beside pillars and under the stairs, no? Yan. Walls and bulletin boards, outdated notices, no? Outdated notices which have lost their relevance, yung MC number series of 1991, nandun pa sa bulletin board. Posters or bulletins and walls, dust, or torn pieces, cell tape pieces. Floor pits and partitions, defective parts, small items. Computer, hard disk, and unwanted, outdated, and temporary files pile up. What do you do with the old computers? Yan. Ang hirap na, no? It's a hard question, but they pile up, ano? Every 5 years, you have to buy a new one, no? Kahit yung old cell phones mo, all your old cell phones, they pile up. Now, what do you do with old cell phones? You give them away. Alam mo, kahit yung katulong namin ay yung lumang cellphone. Then, work process, service process steps not necessary for the completion of the process. Okay? And you should have a checklist, no? Ensures that everyone in the workplace is examining all potential items. Now, this is just a sample, no? You need a checklist to identify the items. Okay. You know, nowadays have to wait for the people to take a picture. Okay, and here's an example of an evaluation criteria, no, according to frequency of use, and you identify the storage method, no? So you identify the low, average, and high, highly important items. Okay. Now, here's another example of what to do, a disposition checklist. A disposition is what you call a decision to what to do with the items which were identified, no? So may category and the possible actions to take. Okay? Now, in a government office, it's very difficult to just throw things away, di ba? Ayan. Hindi lang management decision, kasama pa yung other things, ano? COA, NAP, ang dami ng rules, no? Sino pa may rules? Ang dami rules, no? There's a may Chinese akong kilala na he wanted to, impose 5S. So, we did sorting and everything. And then, when he saw the pile of things to be disposed, he looked at it. Oh! Sabi niya, sayang, daming pera yan. Tapon lang natin yan. Hindi, gamitin nili. But hindi naman magamit, ano? Anyway, the Chinese are like that. They like to keep things also. Sayang daw yung investment, no? But alam mo, may conflict lagi yung mga mga older Chinese and new ones, no? Kasi yung kilala ko, yung mga younger generation, gusto nila magtapon, no? Anyway, you need the criteria, okay? Now, we all have a lot of papers, okay? One technique, this just a sample, ha? One technique is make a single pile of paper and go through them and sort in the following categories according to yung quadrant natin, no? 4 quadrants, important, not important, urgent, not urgent. Okay? And you can also use the 4D principle: do, delegate, delay, and dump. Okay? Now, you may have your own technique of reducing the paper. Actually, 5S allows us to invent and be creative with how we do things, how they dispose it. You can be creative. No? You can be creative. 5S should allow us to be creative. Okay? Now, to do SERI in a celebrative way, no? To launch 5S, usually SERI is we do SERI as a launch program. We launch 5S, no? It's a 5S program. We launch it to a program, and the program is tagging. It's called the ACAFUDA, no? Red tag system. May red tags for the things for disposal, yellow tags for, not so sure. And then green tag is for, okay, yan, things to keep, okay? Ayan. So here are samples of the tags, no? A ACAFUDA day, the boss or the manager, the secretary, the director makes an announcement, we'll tag today, no? Usually Friday afternoon, let's tag. Okay? That's called the red tag day, no? All employees are allowed to tag everything which are not needed, no? Ayan. Kahit even things which are not even in your workplace. Okay? So in your workplace, if someone puts a red tag, just remove it if not. If you think you still need it, no? Okay? So yellow tag, yeah. So different types of tags, no? So I'm not going to just sample. Sa likod, may signatures, okay? And then there's a tag for relocation. So maraming types of tags. And this is a disposal tag, no? Now you can use this to implement your, we call it big cleanup day, although we're just sorting, no? Big cleanup day. You know, in the temperate countries, they do what we call spring cleaning. Have you been to a temperate country before and stayed there until winter, no? Spring cleaning day, it's April 15, no? The whole world does spring cleaning. We usually schedule yung big cleanup day on April 15. Okay. Now the second is Seton or systematize. Sinupin. Systematize or arrange things in proper order. Okay. Now, typical problems in finding items include the following, no? Not knowing what the item is called, not sure where the items are kept. Storage for a particular item is too far away. Storage areas for items are not in one central location. Hard to find the item because there are so many items stored there. Item is not labeled. Item is missing, etc., etc. Okay. So the solution is to systematize your workplace. So this is it. Arrange items in necessary order. Determine the type of storage and layout that will ensure easy accessibility for everyone. Okay? So in functional storage, you make it retrievable, provide no chance of being disturbed with unnecessary items, and eliminate the search activity. Okay? The searching activity takes a lot of time. In fact, you know, there's our accounting department in one place where I worked. Before 5S, they used to make their balance sheet, cash flow, yung mga statements sa accounting, they did it in 1 month. Sabi, nagalit siya sa akin, no? You mean to say, ano, it's very long. Go to, sabi sa akin ng accounting manager, go to any accounting department, it's 30 days. After doing 5S in their area, he apologized to me and said, after doing 5S, you can do the report in 3 days instead of 30. Sabi niya, it's amazing, no? So that's what search and elimination of search activities does, no? Even to our activities, no? So, sino ba accountant dito? A lot of the work now is search, no? Searching and sorting through files and things. Okay? So the basic activities is follow the first in and first out method. Assign each item a dedicated location. All items and their location should be indicated by systematic labeling. Place items so that they are visible to minimize search. Place items so that they can be reached or handled easily. Separate exclusive tools for common ones. And place frequently tools near the user. Okay? Ayan. So, yung stapler, yung gunting, yung ball pen should be with you palagi, no? And the success indicator of this is searching and selection performing process. Okay? Time saved, no? Search and select. And the procedure is to decide where things belong, decide how things should be put away, designate a responsible person, and follow established procedure. In every work, there are basically 3 things to do, no? To make ready for the work. Okay? Second is doing the work, and lastly, putting away the stuff. Okay? If everything's in order, you don't have to make ready. Everything's ready. Then you do it, and then you don't have to put away because everything is in place. Okay? So that's how this thing saves a lot of time in our work. So we decide where things belong according to their stratification strategy. Okay? We place frequently items near, sometimes used further away, maybe near the walls. And this one, not used at all, must be stored separately with clear identification. Okay? Mga archives, 2 years. Up to 10 years, ano? 10 years, okay. Decide where things belong. No? Standardize nomenclature. Determine an analytical method of storage. Okay? Yung nomenclature, it's very, very important, especially when you have new employees coming in and out. Ano? When you call a bank statement, reconciliatory statement, iba-iba yan, di ba? Maganda kung sorted siya so that you don't go through it. Ano? If you're in accounting, nakasort siya according to type of activity and type of transaction, mabilis ang ano. Kasi sorted na siya. Decide how things should be put away. No? Name, location to everything, addresses, label both item and location, store materials functionally, and prevent mistakes with coding by shapes and color. No? We respond to faster to shapes and color. Later, siguro sa ARM, they'll show you how how they did it. No, they did it using shapes and color. Do you know that we respond faster to pag hindi siya all caps, yung sentence case, we read it faster kaysa all caps. Kung all caps, it takes twice the time to read the item. Ano ba yan? Kaya avoid yung all caps, no? So it's faster. Systematic arrangement, decide how things should be put away, designate a responsible person, no? Follow first in, first out. If 2 identical items are to be located, then store them separately, color code them, identify the person who will be in charge. And lastly, no, very, very important siguro, obey the rules. Obey the rules. Alam mo sa internal audit, one principle is you make the rules and you follow the rules, di ba? And you are audited according to the rules which you have made, no? Yung 5S, it's not, no, it's not different. Ganun din, you make our 5S rules and we are audited according to our rules, no? The ES can do, yung ES natin, they can do the 5S audit as well, no? You should have categories, no? Supplies, records, documents, operation-wise. All items required for the operation may be stored in one location, telephones, fax machine. Okay. Layout. Okay, you can lay out things according to order of process. Okay. Boundaries, straight line, angle, nothing should be kept outside the boundaries. Stands, partitions, and shelves. Keep all the required items of stands, partitions, and shelves, standardize height, size. Provide casters, no, where necessary so that it can be moved. Wires and ducts, color code, no? Alam mo, ang hirap ng ang hirap kung mekaniko ka tapos hindi color coded yung wires. Wow. The diagnosis of the problem takes long, no? When there are multiple connections, bundle wires, no? Office equipment, yeah. Put the equipment in order, location, try to eliminate storage of some supplemental tools. Yan, dami, no? Office supplies, store them in the protected place, maintain these things regularly. Records and documents, designate a place for each record or document, decide on how much quantity to be kept, ensure that they will not be damaged, no? Don't put it on the basement. Don't put on the basement, anayin yon, babain, things like that, no? Make sure it's a considerable safe height. Make sure also the place doesn't burn. Okay? And usage frequency, consider that. The weight and shape of the item, no? Consider, some items are very heavy, no? What do you do with the heavy items? You place them closer to the door or closer to your workplace, no? Yeah. You know, in a steel working area, the warehouse is always near the door, no? So that you won't bring the heavy items inside, no? The big items. So yung paper natin, yung tissue paper, malaki yun, diba? It's supposed to be near the door, no? Labeling, yan. Here are some samples of labels, color-coded, outline. Yan. No horizontal piling, nothing on the floor, no? Horizontal piling, mahirap i-retrieve, di ba? So, maganda kung vertical. And then, 30-second rule, okay? Ayan. You must arrange a tool board so that you can get any tool within 30 seconds, okay? So, here's some samples, no? You can arrange your tools, no? By the way, you do this by putting a foam, ano? Yung foam, bili ka ng foam sa National Bookstore, you cut it so that paglagay mo sa spot na yun, it doesn't move. Okay, you can do that, no? Foam. Tawag doon, Kaizen foam. Now, look at this, no? The arrangement of, may arrangement sa ganun, so you know, no? You know if it's not in order. Here's another sample, no? May ganyan, may pattern, no? So if it doesn't, if it's misplaced, it's not. Okay. Okay. Ayan. You make your shelves transparent and no cover. So yung search time mo ma-eliminate, no? You can see where it is, no? Because if it's open. Okay? Open shelves. Okay? And sa records management, here are some things to consider. Filing, categorization, access, transfer previous year, okay? And remote storage. Examples, no? I don't know what year this was conducted, but they conducted an experiment in the Harvard University. They got 100 undergrad students and asked them to solve an impossible puzzle. There were two groups, one working in an untidy workspace and the other in a tidy workspace. So this was the experiment, You know what happened? Those in untidy workspace gave up in 11 minutes. those in the tidy workspace gave up in 18 minutes. Okay? So if you're giving tasks sa office, the people who succeed usually are those who are persistent and they work in a tidy workspace. Ang conclusion nila, a massive and untidy workspace can undermine people's persistence in completing tasks, therefore affecting productivity. Ayan, may study na. Actually, even in your, you will discover this when you implement 5S. When you implement 5S, you will see the miracle happening. Miracle tawag ko, no? Anyway, if you're in industrial engineering, there were studies in industrial engineering. How much time does it take to search and select? Okay? There were studies conducted, video studies of more than 6,000 workers, no? This is the effect of, searching and selecting jumbled items, Ayan. Here's the table, no? This is used in the, this table is used in the garments industry, MTM. Okay? And here's the conclusion, no? If you do search and select, you consume 0.7 time units, no? If you do search and select, without search and select, it's 0.4. So 75% more time to perform tasks when Seiri and Saiton is not applied and or maintained. Okay, so this is the harmful effect of searching and selecting, no? It's actually very bad for productivity, no? 75%. This is a minimum, Minimum to. It could be more, no? So we need to organize our workspace. We need to do Seiri and Saiton. Okay? Ayan. Now, the third S is Seiso. Some call it sweep. Sa Tagalog, loosely translated as simutin, no? Actually, Japanese calls it, inspect and clean. Whenever you clean something, no, you know the condition of the thing you're cleaning, no? So, suppose you're cleaning your knife, no? In the kitchen, you see if it's rusted, if it needs sharpening, di ba? So, cleaning itself is cleaning and inspection. Okay? So, clean your workplace and equipment, maintain a clean environment in accordance with required level. Okay? So, that's cleaning, a way of purifying the spirit. There's an expression, di ba, yung cleanliness is next to godliness. Okay? And if you remember yung naalala niyo yung si Jesus Christ, yung pinakain yung 5,000 sa you know what they did afterwards? He ordered the apostles to clean up. Clean up. And then when Jesus Christ resurrected, you know what they found on the naka-fold yung naka-fold ng maayos. Naka-fold maayos. You read the you read yung resurrection story, naka-fold yung ng maayos. That's why they say cleanliness is next to godliness. And cleanliness as expression, and you eliminate minor defects. Okay? Minor defects. Ayan. It's like driving your car, no? If you don't clean up, ang daming kumakalampag. Bago sasakyan ko, ba't daming kumakalampag? May bote na tubig, may may mga balat, no? And all of it make a lot of noise, no? And the success indicator for Seiso is a clean and sweet-smelling workplace. Okay, ayan, no? Ako hindi ko lagay dito, yung impression, no? Impression to our clients, no? When our clients come into our office, it's clean, okay? They feel good, no? That they're going into a very professional office, no? And you also decrease, no, the accidents and equipment downtime. Okay, alam mo yung computers, they do a lot of downtime if they're not clean, no? Sino may computer sa bahay, no? Bumabagal siya if it gets hot, no? So you have to clean it regularly. So this is Seiso. We have 3 S's, no? And yes. the machine. I love you, Master, because you care for me. Please wash my body. I will whisper to you when I feel uncomfortable. Ay, madumi. So please listen to me carefully and fix me before I become seriously ill. I like the word heart for you, Master. I also like to live a long life. Okay, yeah. It takes less than a teaspoon of dirt, ano? Less than a teaspoon of dirt to actually destroy your engine. Ayun ang findings namin sa Toyota. Cleaning means more than just keeping things clean. It's viewed as a form of visual inspection. Preventive measures should be taken to tackle problems of dust, grime, burrs, leakage. Now, root cause of the problem should be identified and it should be eliminated. Say so is the only phase that is considered a daily activity. No? So, daily cleaning ito. No? Yung seri, maybe you do it once a year. Yung seton, once a year. Pero itong say so, yes, every day. No? Siguro twice a day. Ayan. No? This phase should be performed. Say so makes it easier to know where everything goes and what items are essential to the workplace. Okay? Say so is an attitude that people have about cleaning. This attitude considers dirty and untidy workplaces as intolerable. Okay. And there are several levels of cleaning, syempre, no? So, overall cleaning, daily, cleaning of specific items, tools, equipment, machines, cleaning at the detail level, getting to the grime, screw, threads, corners, yan, no? Yung even levels. Usually, yung third level, yung employees ni gumagawa niyan, usually yung specialized na, no? Mechanics, IT people, okay? And our procedure, prepare and follow cleaning schedule, conduct cleaning, and use F-label technique. No? Proper cleaning tools are given. No? Alam mo, you can't clean without the tools. So you have to provide tools. Housekeeping equipment and supplies should be kept in designated locations near where they will be used. No? Set up a Kanban, just-in-time inventory system for cleaning supplies. Okay? Now, you know where the janitor's closet is, ano? You can actually open it and get a broom doon sa janitor's closet and return the items to janitor's closet. Continual cleaning is a work area is the best approach. If an area gets dirty faster, find the reason and correct it. No? Set scheduled cleaning times and responsibilities for common areas. Now, in some areas, nakalagay, some machines are labeled who's cleaning it, no? The owners of the machine, di ba? I've seen areas like that. Pwede, no? It helps, no? And here's a sample of a cleaning schedule. If you go to our CR namin dyan, did you notice that? May cleaning schedule. The janitor signs whenever he cleans it. That's why it's maintained, no? Clean. So this help, schedule, responsibilities, checklists. I show you that already. Now, here's an example of instructions, no? Yan. So, reception area, what do you clean? Office conference room, what do you clean? Kitchen, pantry, bathroom, and miscellaneous. Ayan. If you go to DAP Tagaytay, you see all of that. Naka-display. Check off the items once completed. No? So, daily ito, no? Every day. Actually, who of you have been sa Quezon City Hall? Sa Quezon City Hall, yan. Dati actually madumi siya, no? Lately, no? Pinalagyan ko yun ng checklist sa CR. After we put the checklist, babango na yung CR ngayon doon. Bumungo na, di ba? Implementing 5S, okay? So, the F label is faulty label technique or procedure. Like this, no? As soon as a minor defect is discovered, the staff should try and repair it. No? If the personnel cannot repair the minor defect, they need to attach an F label to the machine as close to the minor defect as possible. Keep a running list of all minor defects and discuss them with the maintenance department so that you can work out a plan to repair all of them. Mabaho, galing sa Thailand, mabaho, galing sa Malaysia, mabaho talaga, no? Pero galing sa Philippines, mabango, no? Amoy alcohol. Okay. Anyway, this is standardizing, no? Once you get clean, you have to standardize it so it will always be like that, no? So create a workplace that supports company-wide integration of workplace organization, standardization, visual control, visual display, and visual metrics, visual management, and standardization, no? Formulation, publication, implementation of guidelines, rules, and no? These rules, we can put it in our quality management system. If you have a QMS, you can put the standards in your quality management system. So you can be audited according to those rules. Okay, so maintain cleanliness and order, prevent mistakes, make it easy to find out abnormalities, and standardize good practices. No? Never stop implementing the first 3 S's. Okay, ang success indicator natin is improved performance in 5S indicators. No? Yung workspace natin, yung performance. Yeah. Okay? You regularize 5S activities. Make it easy, no, for everyone to identify and state normal and abnormal conditions. Maintain previous 3S. Okay? Visual control, coding, foolproofing, wire management. I can do it blindfolded. I mean, you know where everything is, no? Inspection marks, maintenance labels, responsibility labels, 1-point lessons, and one is best campaign, no? The one is best campaign, ito yun, no? One is best. 1 location, 1 day processing, 1 file projects, 1 hour meeting, 1 page memos, 1 minute phone calls, 1 copy filing. Okay? That's part of the no? Visual management, ito naman, no? Visual control, a technique to enable people to follow rules easy, with differentiate normal from abnormal, and act accordingly with the use of visual aids. No? Visual displays, visual control. Okay? Ayan. Here is a characteristic of visual management. VM ito, ha? A facility which enables anyone who is unfamiliar with the work area to recognize standards and important information. It creates a language in the workplace to distinguish quickly between normality and abnormality, and illustrates ways in a manner that is obvious to everybody. Okay? So sample, a visual display. Okay? Visual control communicates information in such a way that activities are performed according to standards. Okay? Now, VM is important because it's easy to manage things, when things are visible. Okay? So, if you look at your work area, dapat makita mo na abnormality, no? At one look lang, no? Ayan. It warns and stops, no? And prevents abnormalities. Safety also gets people attention. Clearly mark crossing points, handle, store dangerous materials, make emergency buttons large, obvious, accessible. Okay? Sample signage, no? It's attention getting, di ba? It catches your attention. Now, here's a sample sa factory floor, so you know where to put things, no? What should be placed in this spot, no? Is a forklift, no? Okay. For hand washing use only, and addresses, no? Reserved seats, matching names. Signs, okay? Layouts, no? Okay, here are some more examples. visual management is most effectively used to eliminate all forms of waste. Okay. Now, the last is shitsuke, shitsuke. Self-discipline or sariling kusa, we call it, or yung ating body beautiful. Habit formation, disciplined workforce, empowerment of employees. No? These are the key principles. Do things spontaneously without being told. No? Clean spontaneously without being told. No? Fix things spontaneously without being told. Okay? So this to enhance autonomous management activities. No? So employees are empowered to clean. Employees are empowered to sort, to systematize things. So train people to follow good housekeeping rules autonomously, no? Hindi automatically, autonomously. Maintain discipline needed to a good job and upgrade productivity and quality consciousness. Okay? And here are some practices, or we call it soft 5S. Contact people with a big smile. Yeah, no? Be a good listener. Be devoted and Kaizen-oriented. Demonstrate team spirit. Conduct yourself as a member of a reputable organization. Be punctual. Always keep your workplace clean and tidy. Observe safety rules strictly. Okay? I mentioned Marie Kondo before. No? And sabi niya, the space in which we live should be the person we are becoming now. Not for the person we were in the past. Okay? So that's our quality workplace. No? It actually makes us. Okay? Don't be the same. Be better. No? 5S is all about being better all the time, getting better. We don't make a workspace and maintain it. No? We continually improve it. No? We need to be better. Okay? Yeah. If one begins with the right attitude, there's hope for a right ending. Thank you very much.